Welcome back, David Docker. Super late first watch Friday. Totally slipped my brain. Oopsie daisy. Let's get into it. First watch of the last first watch week. First watch, Baby Girl, directed by Miss Helena Rain. I imagine it's Helena Rain. Saw this in theaters on last Friday. Um, yeah, initially gave it 4 stars. It was upgraded to 4.5 because I realized I was like, damn, this movie's been occupying the mental over the last week. Harris Dickinson, I think, is absolutely phenomenal in this. I really did not and like could not and like refused to wrap my head around the fact that it was him. Watching interviews, like I watched the actors and actors with him and Drew Starkey, watching some other promotion that he's done for the film. I'm like, I'm familiar with him being like this soft spoken Brit and him being this like uber confident, just like oozing charisma American guy. Like the accent, it really blew me away. Nicole Kidman is fantastic, like she is in everything. I really wasn't expecting anything less. Um, Antonio Banderas was great. I thought the score was wonderful. Some really great editing, really great camera work. Shifting focus a lot, which I thought was really neat. Like sometimes the camera would just go completely out of focus. And I thought that was just a really neat sequence. The father figure needle drop with Harris Dickinson dancing in the hotel room, one of my favorite scenes of the whole year. Um, the club scene I thought was wonderful. That beat just like really penetrating through the screen. I thought that was fantastic. Really enjoyed this. Honestly, I maybe bump it to a 5 star. I may go see it again. Maybe double feature with Complete Unknown. Who knows? I really enjoyed this. I think you should check it out. If you're mature and you can handle erotic and sexual themes in film, unlike some of these so called film viewers out there. I'm looking at you, Nosferatu discourse and Baby Girl discourse. Moving on. Rewatch Last Jedi. Whatever. Next up, A Complete Unknown. Hell yeah, man. Timmy fucking rules. This movie was awesome. I was smiling ear to ear the whole time. I was anticipating that I was going to like this film a lot. I had listened to a few Bob Dylan albums prior to watching this. Just to get, a sense of the music in his head. I have listened to a few of his songs before, but I was like, all right, I'm going to dedicate, I listened to Freewheelin' and I listened to Times They Are Changing just to get a semblance of Bob in my head. And Timmy was ridiculous. Monica Barbado as Joan Baez, new celebrity crush. I thought she was beautiful in this film. She played Joan Baez wonderfully. Elle Fanning as Bob's girlfriend Sylvie was also wonderful. Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash, my absolute standout in this film. Favorite part of the movie, honestly. Super funny. That whole sequence with them at the hotel at the folk festival when he was like drunk driving in the car. I thought that was hilarious. Make some noise, BD. Track some mud on their carpet. He was great. Super wonderful. Ed Norton as Pete Seeger. Also great. I love this film. I felt like I was in the 60s. The music was wonderful. I wanted to go home, learn guitar, and just become Bob Dylan at the end of it. It was wonderful, and it impacted me deeply. Definitely need to go see it again. The scene when he finds that whistle on the street and then uses it for Highway 61 Revisited, that studio scene was great. The Like a Rolling Stone studio scene was also great, where the guy walks in saying like, "Hey, can I play guitar?" It's like, "No, we got a guitar player." It's all right, well I can play organ. It's like, "No, you can't play organ. The organ's off." The guy's like, "Hey, it's in C," and then he does like the iconic like, I thought that was awesome. Just a lot of really great scenes and really, I think Timothy's getting that award. I have yet to see The Brutalist with Adrian Brody, who is frontrunner right now, or Sing Sing with Coleman Domingo, who is another frontrunner. But I thought Timothy Chalamet was fantastic. Definitely my favorite performance of his over Paul Atreides in Dune Part 2. It's close, but I thought Tim as Bob Dylan was just awesome. Next up, Nosferatu, the original. Um, I watched Nosferatu the Vampire earlier this month, or earlier in December. I've watched Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've now seen Nosferatu twice. I saw it on Christmas, and then I saw it. You'll see, I saw it the next day. I wanted to watch this just to get, it's like the classic. It really set a precedent for horror, and it's obviously the first film adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I enjoyed it. Silent films are not usually my forte. I thought the music was a little off-putting. Like it wasn't imposing a sense of fear in me. It was kind of silly and like rambunctious, and I thought Count Orlok like dancing around, like moving like YouTube, like it was very YouTube music. It was very like monkeys dancing monkeys or whatever that no copyright song is called. I was kind of underwhelmed by this film, but then again, you know, it came out in 1922. Maybe I'm just not a film savant. I enjoyed it. There were bits that I enjoyed. I liked the story of, you know, Thomas Hutter going out and, you know, getting a contract signed with Count Orlok. Like, I enjoy Bram Stoker's Dracula. I enjoy the framework, but this was my least favorite adaptation of that work out of the four that I've seen, but I still enjoyed it. Rewatch Nosferatu movie, best of the year. I fucking love this film. It was so good. Next up, Juror number 2. I would just kill myself. That's a reasonable reaction in my eyes. I thought Nicholas Hoult was fantastic. Toni Collette, also great. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, I think this is the first film I've watched directed by him. Saw it on Max. Gave very 90s vibes, which I thought was, I don't know, obviously I don't think it's intentional, but I just thought it was just, I don't know, it felt like a film that came out in the 90s that you would catch on like in like an afternoon showing on a Thursday. Just like, you know, you're sick from school and you put on TV and Juror number 2 pops up. And that's not a slight at all. I really enjoyed it. I kind of like how you never really directly know if, I think his name's Justin, if Nicholas Holt's character did it. I enjoyed that little tidbit. Yeah, I mean, I was just stressed out the whole time, and like he was just like tweaking the entire time. Like he was just like I said, I would just kill myself. Like that guilt is insane. Like obviously, nobody's after you. Nobody knows that you could have done it. Nobody even suspected you for a second, but you just by the will of God was placed on this jury council, and you essentially are told, yeah, you, this whole thing, this guy got sent to life in prison for a thing that you actually did or did not do. Just a really fascinating premise. J.K. Simmons was great. And there's another actress in here that I recognized. And also Zoe Deutsch, whatever, his wife. I enjoyed. She's all right. I don't mind her. But there's somebody else. Is it her? Yes. Yes, I recognize her. Yeah, she was in this. She was also solid. It's an interesting ensemble, but Nicholas Hoult was fantastic. I love him. He's such a wonderful actor, and I enjoyed this film. Next up, Phantom Thread, first film of the new year. Daniel Day-Lewis, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, one of my favorite directors. Whatever he makes, whatever he touches is gold. This film was fantastic. I thought Daniel Day-Lewis was wonderful. A fantastic fucking score. And honestly, I felt like I think it was playing throughout the entire film, just like that really just lovely piano and strings just really set the mood. New Year's Eve is a big plot point, and not plot point, but like there's a really great sequence in this that takes place on New Year's Eve, and that's why I was, oh, okay, like there's a lot of buzz about this film around New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. That's why I wanted to check it out. But I really enjoyed this. May This Love Never Find Me. Yeah, I mean, Alma and Reynolds, like they have like a, you know, they're very, you know, sweet or whatever, but I don't want my lover to poison me so she can have some semblance of power over me. I thought that was a little off-putting, but I thought their love story was wonderful. There's so many great sequences, like when Alma goes out in the dresses for like the runway essentially, and you see Reynolds like peeking through the peephole, and like Alma sees her and like sees him and cracks a smile. I thought that was wonderful. A very cozy film, like very on par with, I feel, like Little Women. Just a lot of like the set pieces and the time period just have that. I mean, obviously, like the time period isn't equivalent, but the set pieces and the costumes just felt very. It made me cozy. I was like very comfortable watching this film, and it really didn't have any themes that I was like, I didn't cringe at all watching this. I was just very like, I was comforted, and Daniel Day-Lewis is fantastic. Next up, There Will Be Blood. I started this, like I watched like the first hour of this like 3 years ago, and I just did not get a chance to finish it. I finally got a chance to finish it. It's fantastic, one of the best films of all time for good reason. Daniel Day-Lewis, once again, is insane. Paul Dano is also insane. I love period pieces. I love like early 20th century America. I love that shit. And he's just just an evil guy. Like he's not, like he kind of just reminds me demeanor wise of King in Killers of the Flower Moon. Obviously he's not doing as much heinous stuff, but he just has this very like sure of himself, like he doesn't see what he's doing is wrong, like kind of demeanor. and like just like, oh yeah, my son just got fucked up, I'm gonna send him away. And then like his, obviously iconic, like, I've abandoned my child, I've abandoned my boy, has become just like this sort of, it's synonymous with best performances of all time, which, for good reason. He was fantastic in this. The score is unsettling. That final sequence in like his home when HW comes back and says like, hey, I'm going to Mexico with my wife, and he's just like, oh, how about you talk to me? I'm tired of your dog, bark, bark, or woof, 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 you talk to me. And he's just like a fucking asshole the whole time. He just, he's so good. Like, I want, like, Daniel Day-Lewis, I feel like he's kind of, I want to see him in a role where he's not a prick, because he's a prick in Phantom Thread, he's a prick in this. And I think he plays it really well, and he really disappears into this, like the accent and the voice is just so, I don't know, it just works really well. And like I said, I drink your milkshake. You have your milkshake, I have my milkshake, my straw goes all the way, and I drink your milkshake. I thought that was just great, like bashing his head in with a pin. Really, really good. That's the last first watch. I rewatched The Lighthouse. I got this in the mail, the Lighthouse book from A24 with like the whole screenplay and some like glossy prints. I love this fucking movie. Rewatched it for like the fourth or fifth time. It's just one of my favorites ever, for good reason. But that's all the first watches for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you watched this week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.